morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. This is Micro Moment Monday, so time for a little quickie lesson, and I have just the one for you. We're out here at our Vigo Gardens, and this is one of my lettuce beds right here. It occurred to me that I've been cutting lettuce for years so that it continues to grow after I cut it. There is a way to cut it so that it grows in perpetuity until the weather gets too hot and it starts to go to seed. So let's take a look at some of these and then I'll show you my little strategy for this. So this is a mixed lettuce bed. We have several different kinds of lettuce. If you come over here close, you will notice that there seems to be kind of a discrepancy on some of these where the outside leaves are nice and big, but the inside leaves don't match the outside size. And that is because that is how I cut it. If I leave the outside leaves in place to do photosynthesis, then the inside leaves will regrow and regrow and regrow. They grow from the growth tip right here. I'll show this to you in just a minute. So I gather the inner leaves together and then I snip about an inch above where they emerge from the stem. This right here is the growth area for this lettuce. These leaves will continue to do photosynthesis. These will regrow. So let's look at some that have regrown. Now this one is going to seed. When it spurts up like that, there's only one thing to do, and that is to just cut it. It's not going to regrow from that. That's not the growth area anymore. The growth area is right up here. So I could cut this, but it's just going to keep going up and up. So I will take this in the house and then snip off all of these little leaves. And this one is done. I can pull it out. The same with all of these that are rising up like this. Now over here, you can see on this one that it's not really regrowing except around the edges, and that's because I cut it too short. This one is starting to regrow, but it's not doing it in a healthy way. This one's about ready to go to seed. So this one I can snip, and there's the growth area. So it will keep going. This one also, I love these speckled lettuces. This one I can gather up the centerpiece again and snip about an inch above. And then this will regrow. Let's see. This one you can see has also started to regrow. It's not as fast as others. So I'm going to take these leaves, gather them up in a bunch. Oh, look at the white spider. No, a little moth. Get out. And this will regrow. This one, this was a slow grower. I have not cut it yet, I don't think. Oh, yes, I have. So I'm going to snip it again. It has given me regrowth 4 or 5 times. Let's go to the other side. If you guessed that this one was going to seed, you're right, but I can cut it right here, leave the growth area, and maybe slow that down just a little bit. This one is ready to cut. It has not yet been cut this season. Leaving the outside edges. This one has not been cut this season. Leaving the outside edges. This is butter lettuce. It's one of my very favorites. This is what is used in Asian wraps, and it's so buttery and delicious. So this one I'm going to cut in the middle. The others aren't, they're regrowing after having been cut, but I'm not going to cut them. They're not large enough yet. So this is the lettuce that I've harvested this morning, and I'm going to take it in the house and wash it, and I'll show you what I do there as well. So let's head in the house. It is best to cut lettuce early in the morning before the sun hits it. We were out there before 8 a.m. this morning, and it's threatening rain, so it was overcast. It was a perfect perfect day to cut lettuce. Some people don't cut it, some people tear the leaves off, whatever method, but just leaving the grow area at the top of the stem will ensure that you will have lettuce continue to grow for as long as weather permits. When it gets too hot, everything is going to go to seed anyway, which is, we are fast approaching that time, probably around the middle of June. That is going to happen. And I can either save seeds or I just dispose of the plants in the compost pile. Now I rinse this lettuce in the bowl that I picked it in twice, and I put it out here on this rack to dry. I will leave it on this rack. We live in the desert, so the water is going to dry. I don't want to put it away this wet at all. So I'll come along and I'll turn it, and then I'll just give this rack a little shake. You can see all the water that's coming off the lettuce. And I'll continue to do that until about noon. And then I will put it in my spinner right here. And I just put the lettuce in. For those of you that haven't seen a spinner work, it just gently spins the lettuce and the water is flung to the side and then it drops to the bottom, and then it is not completely but fairly dry. I package it in Ziploc bags with a single paper towel inside to absorb extra moisture. This is one that went with us to Bryce Canyon a week or so ago, and before then it was in my refrigerator for 2 weeks. So this lettuce is already a month since I have harvested it. And doing it this way keeps it fresh and crisp. We just had some for dinner last night and it was perfect. I hope these little tips help you with managing your lettuce so that you can get as much growth and as much harvest as possible with the lettuce that you plant. I think it is just delightful for us to have our own lettuce beds. I don't buy lettuce in the summer because I am growing my own, and I'm now doing it inside the kitchen and doing some experiments as well. So thank you for being with us on this Micro Moment Monday, and we'll see you again next Monday for another Micro Moment.